Hello and welcome to episode 65 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 78, day 15. Bad tide coming in about 0.8 days, but as was established long ago, we don't really need to worry about that because everything, for the most part, has been taken care of to automate that. What we do need to worry about is a lot of supply inconsistencies for really important things like making more airships, including pilot's licenses, which we are currently not making to this one, actually. And the limiting factor right now for this seems to be paper. And if we take a look over here, you can see that there's not a lot of that. In fact, there is none. So, let's establish what is consuming, besides that, paper. All the way down here in the P's. Got 6 buildings consuming it right now. One of those is the assembly line that is supposed to be making pencil sets. One is the ENS that's making the pilot's license. That's where we want it to go. And one of them is the Abyss thing that is currently making Ruins Exploration, which we probably don't really need. At least not right now as a priority thing. We have 2 scouting balloons that also consume those. The scouting balloons, of course, making our sky exploration that we then use for other things. But now that we have airships available to us, I think we should probably focus mostly on building these so that we can get these other items more easily. The one that we do have right now, this first airship we built, getting us all these things all at once, and that, friends, is going to make things so much easier for just so many different reasons. So we probably should establish, no thank you, lag, scouting balloons, whether or not they still need to exist. I'm thinking the answer might be no, because we don't need them. We don't need the stuff that it creates to make airships, but there are some things airships cannot get us. So, we take a look at the folktales. That gets us the exotic seeds. You cannot get that from an airship. The exotic seeds, of course, are used to make a tree nursery. I believe we have enough to build a second tree nursery, and we're probably going to need to do that today. Other things the folktales can get us that the airship cannot are just convenience things, with the exception of foreign food. But the airship can also get us foreign food. So, I think we can probably get rid of the folktales balloons. We've never even bothered trading with the iron teeth. We can make all that stuff. Amp ears, we can also make all of that stuff, except, well, we could probably make solar panels at this point. Just take a long time. Never bothered trading with other Whitepaws. That's probably fine. Island beavers. The big draw with the island beavers is the coconuts and the seashells, both of which we can get from an airship, and we are currently getting those from an airship. And jungle beavers. The big draw for those guys is the pineapples and the grub things, insect larvae, which we can both get from airships. So that leaves us polar beavers. And the big thing with those guys is the frozen human meat, and then to a different degree ice blocks, but we have to make awful stew to get ice blocks, and the beavers eat that, and then they get mad. So, honestly, we probably don't need any of the balloons, provided we have enough of these exotic seeds, and we have 72. To make a tree nursery, provided I know where that is, yes, I only need 50 of those. And I think at this stage of this playthrough, the way this has gone, we probably are only going to need to have one more tree nursery, and that is going to be primarily to get more bamboo. A long time ago I said I wanted to put one over here. We're not going to do that anymore. I think, and you guys seem to agree, it would be much better usage of our time and resources to put it maybe over here in this general area. If I put a tree nursery, obviously, it's not letting me place it because I don't have anywhere for it to actually go. But if I were to put it, say, somewhere right here, and we had access down into this, we could grow a lot of bamboo in here. And if I were to blast one or both of these down, we could grow a lot more giant sequoias and grapes. We haven't bothered to make wine either, and that could be something that maybe we could get into. But the bamboo is a huge problem. It's an absolute pain in the butt. All this stuff that we can't do because we don't have enough bamboo. So I think that is going to need to be a thing. All that to say, we don't need these anymore. They can go bye-bye. Not an issue. And it is a little sad, a little bittersweet. We've reorganized like half of this playthrough around these things. All good things must come to an end. And especially because it takes 3 days to get 50 frozen human meat. And we got 2 of those. And then in 1.6 days, 1 day, 6 hours, we get that same amount from the airship along with everything else. No. We just need airships. We just need airships. So, if we were to get rid of all the balloons, provided we could build a few more airships, which of course we do have to wait for the pilot's licenses to be a thing, I believe we're going to be able to streamline a lot of stuff, maybe reduce the population of this corner district, and move some of this other stuff out of it, because that's probably not making things any easier. So that's on the docket for today. We also have a lot of nuclear fuel. These don't run on nuclear fuel, they run on nuclear waste. So I've kind of gone back and forth on this, what I should probably do. And it's probably going to be a thing where I just need to have another nuclear waste mining expedition center. But there's a lot of buts here. We don't have enough ruins exploration to even get any more of this at all. And why is that? Well, I paused this building so we'd stop using glowing fluid so I could build those other farm things. If I turn this back on, then we can continue getting ruins exploration. Right now we have almost none. But right now we're also about to get this bad tide in here. So let's go triple speed and let these things take care of what they've got to take care of. Life goes on, etc. Lots to be happy with that we've done the past couple episodes, including all of this. Also, someone said there were some trees I had not marked for cutting. These are actually on a different level, and we can't get to them anyway. But these two were not marked. And these are about to die from poison anyway. I don't think it's worth the time or whatever to put in an irrigation thing that may or may not even be supplied enough to make a difference. So we're all right. It's totally fine. That's the way she goes. Let's see. I know there's all sorts of other stuff I probably should be doing. But if we can get paper back up, that's going to be tremendously of interest. And right now, paper is being made at the paper mill, or being tried to be made, because we don't have enough sawdust. Where does the sawdust come from? So many places. Why is there bad water over here? Why is there bad water over here? There should not be bad water over here. There's no... Surely there's no way for this to actually leak over here, right? I don't know how that happened. For those of you not understanding, there's... The coloration of this indicates there's at least a little bit of bad water in there. But it's fine. We don't need to really be that worried about it. We just need to, you know, get stuff done and quit complaining about it. So while that's happening, you guys have been clamoring for quite some time for me to redo some of this industrial stuff and pathing and everything. And I just got to be honest with you, I really don't know how to do that without this just being a complete waste of time for everybody involved. So I'm inclined to focus less on repathing and focus more on just eliminating things we don't need and going from there. We need to have more water extract from there. We need to have more water storage. We did put in a couple more of these giant buried tanks supported by the pillars, which has actually been pretty good. But we just need more water. We need to be able to do more stuff. What are these mines making? Saltpeter and mountain salt. That's fine. We need mountain salt. Somebody also said this would be a great place because of the frequency of beavers coming in and out here to put in, thank you, lag, a statue or some sort of well-being thing here. Which I do have materials. Yeah, I got 411 things. I'm gonna put a beaver grabbing the pointer here. I think that would be a neat curiosity for that spot. But we need to make more sawdust. That's what I was working on before. And I think part of the reason we don't have any is because I paused this advanced sawmill that was turning these things into planks. So if I turn this back on, then at the very least we can keep making planks, because we do need those. That's what allows us to get water out of these mechanized water pumps. And we're also going to need those when we continue building some other things. But to touch briefly on one of the other things we had discussed in the previous episode, the Abyssal Nuclear Reactor does have an outflow. This little thing here that goes on the very, very, very top. And I was thinking, you know what? If it's going to have clean water coming out of it, this would be a great way to fill this up. Or at least put something in here. But that water is going to eventually reach the top and it has to go out somewhere. And currently, we have this little slit right here being where that would come out. Now, if this happened in here, this would flood everything. So what we would need to do is plug this up either with some sort of a dirt or something like that. Or realistically, what probably would end up happening is one or more of these lodges here. We just have to be sure that whatever we are putting in, depending on how we want to do it. If I just wanted to do like 2 of these things right here, that would take care of it for sure. But then it would spill over every single, basically flat level like this. Which means we would want to come over on this side and blast out maybe this tile right here. Or maybe too high over here so the water would just overflow into this. I think that would make the most sense. But you know how this goes. We will need to, first of all, remember exactly how I'm going to get these guys in here. I'm not going to commit to this yet, but that is probably the easiest way to fill that hole if and when that becomes an issue. For now, I'm going to pause this centrifuge because we have 156 nuclear fuel, and right now we don't have a power plant that requires it. We have a bot assembler that can make bots for us, and we have parts to make tons of these things. I just had this paused because I didn't want to consume or tie up all the labor. Well, we didn't have enough nuclear fuel to do all this. Well, I left the nuclear fuel generating machine turned on, so that's the way that goes. To prepare for these bots coming in, we will need to have another hauling bot standby area. And that, for lack of, something better to do with all of this space, is probably just going to end up going over here. And I don't know what else I'd want to do over here. But I kind of feel compelled not to waste this corner space. At the same time, it's going to be alright. We just need them to build this so that when we have the 61st bot coming out, it's able to actually work. That will be fine. So this has been completely pumped out. There's a little tiny bit of contamination in here. 1.3 days left. It's fine. We don't really need to worry about it that much. But what we probably should do, since we have all of these farms in place, and I know we're still working on getting other ones in here, we probably should start thinking about taking some of this farmland away and maybe using that to help reorganize industrial processes, because honestly a lot of this is a mess and we just haven't really had a chance to optimize yet. Yeah, paper's still an issue because we don't have the sawdust. That's what I should have checked, is what's using sawdust. Let's go back over here. And there we go. 13 buildings using sawdust. We've got the 2 florists that are making berries. We might not need those anymore. We can check that out. We've got the GMO labs. That's a much better use of sawdust, in my opinion. We've got the Handicrafters Lodge making... Dynamite takes sawdust, really? Different mushroom things. There's no available work. Oh, that's in the other district. And then this, of course, making paper out of it. Let's, for right now, because these are houses too, let's examine the florists. 2 hours to make 1 berry, and we're using berries, but we also, over here, 2 hours to make 10 berries, and that consumes 4 sawdust and 2 hours to make 10 berries, 2 sawdust and 2 hours to make 1 berry. Easy thing to solve. And, well, I'm just going to get rid of the florists. Easiest way to solve that problem. So, that does cause some of our beavers to be homeless, but I think they will reorient themselves accordingly. Hopefully. Oh, I got 7 empty beds in this district that we probably don't even need over here anyway. Yeah, see, taking these balloons out of here is also really going to help that out. So then that question becomes... Oh, these are still paused. Okay. I don't want to consume paper in the Artist's Lodge, so it wouldn't be great to turn that back on. Handicrafter's Lodge, same deal for making balloons. That I don't think we need. No, we don't need any balloons to make airships. So we definitely don't need to ever make balloons again. Famous last words. I completely lost my train of thought. Ah, we're out of nuclear waste. Who could have foreseen that coming? I know I got a couple comments telling me I was bad for doing that. We need nuclear waste. Ah, yes. Of course. We need the paper to get these things. Oh, boy. Well, how do I always get lost in my own map? I suppose we need another paper mill. Now, where am I going to put a paper mill that I could actually have power run to? Because all the buildings in this game just make no sense. But that's the wrong building, primitive paper mill. I don't want that. The regular paper mill has, if I remember correctly, yeah, the power input's on the top. And it is a weirdly shaped building that requires a weirdly shaped hole. And it also is a levee, so if you put it in a river, you're going to cause problems. I want to know how bad water got in here. That just doesn't make any sense at all. Oh well. Life goes on. Floodgate dam all the way down. That goes all the way back up. Fill this thing up. Yeah, it's still pushing some of the bad water out this way, but I think we're probably okay to open this. Unless this backflows. I'm going to let this keep doing its thing. We also need to fill this in. Would probably be a good idea. But the reason I hadn't done that was because I didn't have pine resin, I believe. And I don't see pine resin. So I mean, I probably could just build it anyway and then just do it when they're going to do it. But man, is that going to be... That's going to be a whole thing. Why is there nothing coming out of here? I've got this flowing out here. I've got this taken care of. Maybe it just has to catch up. Well, we'll see. I don't need to be worried about that so much. We have 80 instead of 10. That's progress. Oh, how bad is it going to be if... Okay, 5 hours to make a single sheet of paper versus half an hour to make 5. Wait a minute. I just make it in here. I really should build another one of these. How much? I've got 26 drill bits. That's going to run out soon enough, but... If I just make it in here, it's... whatever 0.38 translates to in terms of fractions, to 70 pieces of paper. That's an easy choice. Easy choice. Underground factory operating team. I need to build another one of those. That is part of Abyss. And that, of course, it requires 50. Okay, well, I don't have that. Glowing fluids on the uptick, though. That's good. I should take advantage of that and start building this. Oh, they can't do that because they don't have access with a staircase. A set of ladders yet. Well, we're definitely going to use those, I can tell you that much. Let's bring this up. Come on. There we go. I know that's going to get use. This is waiting on dirt. We shouldn't really have an issue getting dirt. Unless these are out. No, this is just full of coal. Which I didn't think was going to be a problem, because I was like, oh, I'll just put it all in the deep pile storage, and then we didn't do that. But the reason the coal backed up is because I had both of the high temperature foundries making silicon metal ingots, which, you know, are pretty important. But then these buildings aren't using the scrap metal. Or aren't making scrap metal. So that's a whole thing. Okay, I don't care if I waste that. Let's just swap that back over. Okay, I shouldn't say it's not using coal. It's using coal slower. It does still take 200 coal to make a batch of these guys. but that's over 4 days versus 10 hours to use a substantially smaller amount of coal, but much more frequently. So I guess that is fine. The pine resin issue still kind of baffles me because I keep adding more and more pines, and it seems like it's never enough. Oh, I'd never lowered this. Okay. Yeah, we do. Come on, we do need more water in here. That's fine. How are we doing on the paper for the pilot's license? Oh, wow, that was fast. So I guess they really went to town making paper here. That is fine. We will leave that alone. I just I'm making less than half of the power I currently need because I'm out of nuclear waste. Yes, I do know some of you called that in the comments. You were correct. Is what it is. Minty bamboo shoots. Still a huge problem, which, like I was mentioning earlier, means I'd need to have another tree nursery. So now we have to make a decision about what we are doing with both of these. I think keeping the one as the overflow thing as a kind of fun, oh hey, cool, we did that, is neat. But I'm going to have to just blast this down. I don't really see any other realistic method of making this a viable thing. So what that means is I've got to come in here with a really, really ridiculous setup of stairs. Ladders are just, they're so expensive. 4 metal blocks for each one versus just making a bunch of regular stairs. It's gonna be really ugly. Like, don't get it twisted. This is gonna be hideous. But I think it's probably, you know what? I actually don't need that one there. That can be a single. Make this just a tiny bit easier on us. Oh, I lost it. Come on. There we go. And I should. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to win any beauty contests with this one. It's just one of those deals. All right. And because this is just going to be, it's going to be so stupid. It's fine. Let's go all the way up. This one has to be a... Nope, that's the wrong orientation. There we go. And just so these guys don't get stranded here, I'm going to have to wait until they put all these bottom ones in before I can put this in, or they're going to get stuck. That's going to be how we get it. It here, that's not a real word. Alright. There you go. Get that popped in there, and I'm just going to have to come around to the very back. And yeah, see, this is going to be a whole thing. I can, thankfully, use these overhang walkways to help us get over here. And what's going to happen is I'm going to have to put in a scavenger flag. Remember, you can't just delete this. It has to actually be scavenged. So that's going to allow them to get this piece here. And then this here is going to have to be staircase here. This piece is going to need to be exploded. Then they can get these. And after that, probably for the sake of, you know, ease of access, just get those. Get that. Get this as a double. They're not going to be able to reach. But I don't know, we'll figure it out. This is a long-term thing anyway. This is like a set it and forget it and see what happens later kind of deal. What are we waiting on? Sky exploration, of course. And what does that need? If you said paper, you're correct. Let's see, scouting woods. That's a concerning sound. I only have 2 of those, right? Yeah, so every 5 hours, give or take a little bit, we get a single sky exploration, and this needs another 95. Oh boy, so you multiply that by 5 hours, that's a lot of days. It's a lot of days. What does it cost to build a scouting balloon? Well, you know what? We said we don't really need to have this anymore. So in the interest of actually, you know, achieving literally anything, let's do this. Let's replace these scouting balloons, double our output to, instead of once every 5 hours, once every math, significantly less. I almost said once every 2.5, and I'm pretty sure that's not how that math works. Who knows? Probably most of you. That's fine. You can all be smarter than me. That's probably actually how it is. Mega platform complete. We can put something else up here, but I needed to decide what else was going to go here. Clockwork farm-wise. We haven't made cabbage. If I make a cabbage farm, I could probably reclaim a decent amount of space on the bottom. Oh, come on. Is that really the most advantageous thing, though? Well, we have 19,000 science. I said I was saving up science to build all these other things. The 1,000 science here that I spend could actually be offset by increased productivity if I can reorganize industrial processes. Also, this needs 35, and we're not close, we're not going to be close, and we're also going to have 2 PhDs in nuclear physics. That's not happening anytime soon. So I believe in the best interest of what we're attempting to accomplish here, Clockwork Hydroponic Cabbage Farm is going to be the way to go. And that goes there. Which will also require one of these. And a little piece of path there. I think that's going to be the right move. This, of course, is still waiting on... Wait, screw press axles? Are we out of those? There's no way we're out of screw press axles. I really need another one of these factories. I really need another one of these. I'm out of human relics? Of course I am. This was supposed to be making human relics. We need to get back to that. And, well, if I can't make this because I don't have human relics, can I... No, that also needs human relics. But I do need screw press axles. So I suppose I should divert those. Okay, that's fine. It's just going to take a little bit of time. They are working very, very slowly on this. Let's put into motion a plan to get this area turned into another tree nursery. So as part of blasting this down, we will gain access to a tremendous amount of space, should we choose to use it. What we can also do, let's see if I can find a good angle for this. Not a lot of on-screen real estate. I can... Let's actually check first. Okay, this doesn't say it has to be built on ground. I could, depending on how I want to do this, I could put this right about here and then have a ladder access down in the middle. That would still allow me with my... depending on how I wanted to orient this, if I actually turn it this way, obviously not putting it right here, that would probably get me the most amount of space that I could actually access. Range on this. Ideally, my range-wise, I'm probably going to want it to be right about here. It is currently not available. Decisions. Tell you what we can do. We can... Come on, lag. We can put a ladder here. Easiest way to do this. Get this blasted down is just going to be do that. Triple dynamite. Well, I get a free one if I use a quadruple, so I'll do a quadruple. That's getting blasted down anyway. I'm going to want most of this to be modified. Obviously, I want all of these brambles to be gone. We're going to deal with that later. I don't really have the patience for that right now. Let's see. Waiting on this needs to be hooked up. That'll go there. Yeah, like I said, that's going to be a thing we'll deal with. We have 100-something vacancies. Oh, God. What a mess. There's not scouting because why? Oh, they don't have enough paper. Who would have thunk it? At least we have screw press axles now. I'll let him make a couple more of those, then I think I have to switch this back over to paper. apparently we go through those like gangbusters. And now I got 13 something. Let's just switch it back over. And I'm still seeing... Yeah, pine resin's pretty low. And I don't think there's a recipe here that can actually make pine resin, or is there? Oh, there is! The laboratory one. If I have mushroom juice. Oh, I didn't build one. I thought for sure I would have built one of those. No. Okay, well, if I want... Ooh, that strong alcohol recipe is really tempting. That's 5,000 science. But I said, you know what? I said 5,000 science, or 1,000 science earlier. Like, oh, we only have 19,000. We have 19,000 again. And you know what? This is about to be done. The benefit is too great to ignore. Now, we don't have these things to actually construct, but this is valuable. And now I can't see anything. So let's rotate this out. There we go. This is going to be really, really useful. Let's just do pine resin to start with. I know they're not going to have this built for a while, but that's methane, coal, saltpeter, mushroom juice, and then... I mean, I've got it. I've got all this stuff. So they could do it. We're just missing a few key components to actually build this thing. Well, they'll figure it out. Not that big of a deal. These things are running again, which is very good. We're up to 68 hauling bots. That's actually super helpful. And we're working on this. 215 out of 300 sky exploration. I really should have built more of these scouting balloons sooner. Wait, they actually finished building these? Oh, that's right. They're waiting for paper. Waiting for paper. Oh, there's no flood here. I'll tell you what we'll do. What might be a smart thing. That's connected there. I'm going to put right here. Oh, that actually might be a mistake. I was trying to figure out a good way to do this. You remember what we did before where we had stuff connected to separate districts? Well, I was reminded that that was a strategy I could employ. Alright. It might not make sense to you, but the easiest way I can think of right now to accomplish this is to put in right here a big storage for paper. And then, because this is so close to this whole area, we can fill this up. And then, I can path it over here, which means it's in this district, and that's just like a one-time solve my problem kind of thing. Now, oh good, we're getting this taken care of. B for boom. Then this can get a staircase, which means... Get out of my way, balloons. Once this is all harvested, then we can come in through here and then take care of that. And this actually connects here. So we might actually have full roundy-roo availability without doing too much other nonsense. That's a good thing for us to be able to do. And Clockwork Hydroponic Cabbage Farm's up and running. As is this other Everblot. Come on, click on that. There we go. Looking good. Looking better, at least. Water storage is full, so maybe we don't need more pumps, we just need more storage. But where am I going to put another one of these? The eternal problem. Sawdust remains kind of an issue, but this paper recipe doesn't use it. Doesn't use it. What a thought, huh? So now I have so many ideas. So many ideas. Why is dirt such a problem? Is that just because we were building all of this garbage? And we didn't want to wait any longer for other things. Major burns. I've got surgery kit and antibiotics. I could not make the freeze frost balm because I did not have enough minty bamboo shoots. And I still don't have enough minty bamboo shoots. But I need to be making more, and we're going to be making more once I can get all this situated. So, if I have the ability to do this, I probably should just do it. I'm just going to double dynamite. Honestly, I should just leave this buffer at the end because that's already what it was. But I have something here I might be able to use it. I'll leave this here. But I can do 1, 2. I'll just do this one. I think if I give them a path, they should be able to put the rest of these in. I just need to make sure the water's not going to escape, and that is going to help that not be a problem. I think that should be fine. Yeah, the real fun part's going to be taking care of this. We're going to have to wait for a drought, most likely. Let's take care of that. This is already cleared out. Okay, that's ready for explosion. And now, yeah, this is going to reach all the way around there, and then the only problem is getting this taken care of. So why don't I instead... oh, it's not going to let me do 2 on the same one, is it? If I put this here, then I should be able to... What direction is this facing? There we go. Why is this thing trying to make me mad here? Alright, am I gonna have to do the corner walkway? Yeah, I guess I am. Alright, well, he already knew what we were gonna be doing here. I just need to be able to get over to this. Alright, that should help. That'll take care of that. One more gets me there, and then I hope that still is going to have range to get all the way around. Should be fine. Up to 71 hauler bots, so that's good. And I've got 17 more processors. That's also good. Still have a ton of nuclear fuel. We have the waste as well. And papers all the way up. Sky exploration. Or paper is always all the way up. 221. Still waiting on paper. How much is in here? None? Oh, of course, it's waiting on pine resin. I need the pine resin to be able to do the other stuff, and I need the other stuff to be able to do the pine resin. Oldest trick in the book. What about over here? Don't really have too much else I can do, huh? Wait a second. This needs to be lower than 2. This needs to be a lot lower than 2. This needs to be lower than, like, 4, doesn't it? It needs to be... no? Oh, it is 3. Oh, man. Alright. Oh, I know this is... I know it's painful. I know it's painful. But this has to be 3. It's fine. Of course, that's now too far from a thing. They'll get it figured out. We don't need to worry about it. But look at all this fun stuff we got here. Yeah, they emptied that frozen human meat out with a quickness, I'll tell you what. That is... yeah, that's fine. Cabbages are up. This one does make one cabbage every half hour, which I think... why is there a toggle for red cabbage? That's not... okay, I know why. I know why. I can't explain why, but I know why. I'm thinking... it's always a dangerous thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just gonna build another one of these cabbage things on top of here. Just so we can have enough for me to feel comfortable getting rid of the rest of it. On the ground, that is. And then you know how this goes. Another one of those long-term projects that they will get to in due time. Pine resin Still kind of an elusive thing, but if we can just get... Oh, we made a batch since the last time I looked at it anyway. That's fine. That's fine. If all of this doesn't really end up mattering that much anyway. Come on, sky exploration. Just do it. Just give me the paper. Nothing else is consuming paper. Nothing else is consuming paper. And then this one's waiting on sawdust. We already established that. Man, I hate to just say slap a time lapse on it and call it a day and figure out how we can solve this problem, but I think that's probably the only way this is going to get any better. Is just let it go for a little bit, see what can be produced, see what cannot be produced, and reevaluate after a certain time. So that's just what I've got to do, folks. We'll let them take care of that, maybe finish building a few things, and give them time to put all that dynamite back in, then come back and, yeah, maybe put that other nonsense in. We'll see, but I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Alright, so I did a little bit of fiddling without moving the camera around. You probably saw a little bit of it go down. But what we've essentially ended up doing here is making a whole bunch of screw press axles instead of paper, because I figured out we have over 1,000 paper. We just haven't been able to get it over here to these other balloons. So, since this paper storage is getting pretty full, if we disconnect from there and we connect it to here, guess what? Now this district has paper, and they can bring it over here, and they can finally get these sky exploration things going. And get this to 300, because then after that point we do still have to wait 8 days. We're getting pretty close to building all of our robots here. We've almost filled up our 4th storage of hauler bots, which means it's time to build a 5th. So I also, during that time lapse, paused, or not paused, but deprioritized some of the forestry hauling upgrades, because honestly I don't think we need those anymore. I've got one over here that's already deprioritized, and then this district has a separate thing. But I think if we're not going to need these, what I can actually do is, if I remember where it actually goes, forestry viewing spot upgrade. If that is a drop-in same kind of thing, which it looks like it kind of is, will give a well-being bonus. There is, where is it? I think it's observation deck. Makes sense. That would be the one in question. So, this is the closest one to any of these other things. So what I will do is I will say bye-bye, and then I'll pay my 100 science. Forest reviewing spot upgrade. Come on. Come on. There you go. We'll put that there, and then, I don't know, maybe that'll give us some well-being bonus to the beavers. And this one probably is also a good candidate for that. That'll help even out some of our job issues. And, come on. Which direction was this going? These are super annoying to do. Come on. One of these days I'm going to... Okay, there we go. Figure this out. I may need to... Right, or it wasn't right, that one. Oh, no, they're actually doing it. Cool. And now, yeah, we've got those things coming in droves. We've got plenty going on here. I don't think I need to have a bunch of screw press axles. Just trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. Drill bits is probably always a good choice. We do have a laboratory making pine resin, and then it is immediately being sucked in somewhere else. I think it's probably time to make another gas extractor to fill out this last slot here. So we're going through it. And the gas extractor has absolutely no operating cost. It just employs a beaver and takes power. So, that just seems like a no-brainer to have one of these doing methane and one of these doing hydrogen at all times. The hydrogen is all going to this district anyway, so I'll just get that set up. Got our storage for endothermic essence. Methane's actually empty. We're churning through this stuff. Science is also looking pretty good. We're up to 22,000. As a reminder, we spent 6,000 science today, and we started with 18. So we're actually making it pretty quickly now. That was one of those things I wanted to try and improve if I possibly could. So it's good to see that's happening. This is waiting on robot parts. Did I use all my robot parts? I did not. But I have full bot storage. And if I pause this, they will take these robot parts out that are needed to build that other thing, and then I can unpause it. There we go. Get that set up. We need to make more robot parts. This is making pencil sets, which we are going through quite quickly. We have 1,000 of these. I'm just going to turn this back into robot parts. Where am I going to put the last? Maybe not the last, but... is that going to fit here? It looks like it will. I just don't have a great place for it to go. So it will have to settle for right here. Although, I guess this is fine. It doesn't really matter. So, yeah, what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to unplant everything on this level and just let them pick these cabbages up off the ground. I don't think they're going to need to do that. And if they don't do that, then what that tells me is these never needed to be here in the first place. And they could be removed so we could put some other more useful things here. But the problem with that is I don't know what I would put there. There's so many different things that we probably should be doing that we aren't doing. Oh, you know what I forgot about is blowing this up. B for boom. How in the world did I do this? That's aggravating. Well, tell you what we can do is we can very carefully mark all of this for removal. And I guess I'm going to have to put in a staircase here so they can actually build that. And this is also going to require that I kind of reconfigure some of this. Maybe, maybe not, but this is going to give me a chance to put that there, and then I can have one. Depending on how I want to organize this, I guess I'll just put one here. Keep the left to right the same. But this, because it's already been moved over, yeah, that would require me to have something else here. I don't think I want to mess with that. I just know that we need more bamboo, and that's really the only way to do it. So, come on. Tree nursery range. Yeah, not going to get into here. That's going to require we have this other thing. Really, that's out of range of this. Okay. Well, the only other thing I can think of to do would be to... Oh, come on. Be to blast this out. Let's take this down. This has to go away anyway. Then they can go down here to get that rest of that mess. And I believe... See, is this going to be 4 tall? It is. It is. So what we can do is get the 4 in, except right there. And I believe they should be able to... Well, I already told you guys this is going to be a super long process. We're just going to let it be what it's going to be and not worry about it. Wow. I did not think this was going to go this fast. That's actually kind of encouraging. I like to see that. Now, will these not also immediately spread to prodigious levels never before seen by man? Well, you know the answer to that. These things are just a huge pain in the butt. That being said, every single one of these that we remove can be immediately and indiscriminately replaced with double dynamite to stop the spread. And since I already know this is a thing, let's see, double there, triple there, and quadruple there will get us the same kind of deal. Yes, I'm blasting all of this down for the sole purpose of growing more bamboo at the same level as this. So it's fine. Cycle 80 begins. All well and good. That is the double there. And then I guess this would just be a single, depending on how we want to do this. Alright, don't get exploded. B for boom. Yeah, see, look at that. Now we got all sorts of space. Love to see it. And this is in place already, so we don't need to worry about that. That can come away. That could be the 4-piece. 14 of those left. Are we, no, not quite. 253, but we are making progress. That's very good. Pine resin up to 306. We should have built these a long time ago. How are we doing here? Okay, that's slowly filling back up. Everything else is fine here. And, well, now that I have pine resin, you know what I can do? Is I can come in here. And I can put this mess in. And then, in order to properly do this, I do need to be able to get up here. So, let's give that a helping hand. And then the dirt just has to be able to fill in the rest of these. That's paused at 72. Well, this is going to be a huge mess no matter what, anytime I try and do this, so I guess that's okay. Same kind of stuff happening here. This has not changed. That has... Oh, it's too far from it. Wait, what? Oh, this doesn't go down anymore. Okay, well, that's on me. I should have done that a little bit better. Stairs down. When they get to it, we'll solve a lot of problems. They haven't gotten to that yet. Why? Okay, that's fine. I know this is all theoretically ahead of that, but I'm going to prioritize. Yeah, because then that should make this a whole lot easier once it's just a little bit closer. 4 left, that'll be gone soon. They haven't collected a lot of this cabbage here. So, I think what that means is we really didn't need this at all. And, based on how this is set up, we probably would not be too stupid to just rip all of this out and put it back in. Better. I kind of don't want to do that, though. Just because of the whole implication of it being really annoying. What I will do, just for the benefit of all of our collective sanity, is I will hit that big old cancel button on all this. And all of... Maybe not the pumpkins. Maybe not quite yet. But if I were to blast this down, then I would have... Yeah, I'd have better access from the large farmhouse. I could have more pumpkins in a smaller space. And I could also, because these are... Okay, that's not completely empty. Half-fermented sake. Now it's empty. But I'm also making this stuff here, so I probably shouldn't be... Don't worry about it. Okay, dynamite's still being made. That's fine. They're not going to get to this for a while anyway, so it's not like it really matters. Good. They finished that, which means... This can now be removed. That can now be removed. Now this one's going to get maybe a little annoying because I do want this all to be at the same level before we really commit to too much more. So that'll be 2, and then I have to take that away, but the rest of this can still be set up as 4. Excuse me. Let's make this a priority. Let's get that taken care of. Alright, do I dare check on the pilot's license? 0%, but we are getting closer. Yes, that's gonna be a whole thing. We don't need this set of houses and stuff here to serve as a dam because there's no bad water coming out of here anymore. So I guess that's okay. And if there's no bad water over here at all, we only need to have the irrigation lodge, then this whole apparatus right here really should be moved down 1 level to have the rest of this irrigated. Super fertilizing irrigation tower bath does have a pretty good range that probably would cover most of this. and also help crops grow faster. So it seems like kind of a waste not to have any crops growing here. Unless we utilize some of that to grow pumpkins instead. Yeah, there's a little bit of overlap here, actually. We could have the temporary stopgap, since I don't know what the heck I'm doing, could be to put pumpkins here. But I also really want to get this set up. You know how that goes. Let's see, that's safe for boom. As is now this. We'll get it all down to one level. We'll do it all at once. Easiest way to do it. Obviously, they have to be able to walk around the entire thing to actually accomplish that. It's fine. This is an extra piece that can go down. So what I'm going to do here is just time-lapse this so that we can actually have a chance, maybe, of getting this completed before the end of this episode and put our second tree nursery in while everything else kind of balances out a little bit. We'll see what happens. We've done a bunch of these at this point in time. You know how this works. I don't need to explain it anymore. But I will tell you exactly how things fared in just a moment. Alright, so we're not quite finished with putting all of this dynamite in, but we made some really good progress, and it's kind of stalled a little bit because of how slow the process of making dynamite is. But we do have, or have had for a while, and I just now noticed, our second pilot's license, which means it is time for us to come over and put our second airship in. That, of course, will fit right here. That's the closest I can get. Yep, that's going to go right there, and I'm going to give it a staircase, a ladder, right in front like we did for the others, or close enough at least. And this is going to be left on the Grand Tour trade route. All we got to do now is get the rest of this garbage in here, and then at some point, hopefully soon, we'll have an airship that can make even more of this stuff come in. We actually have fully gotten seashells in. Do I have seashell storage over here? That might be like the only thing I didn't have. Well, tell you what. I'm going to change this one over to seashells. Yeah, there's no storage for that. And instead of making robot parts, which I cannot make, because I guess I'm out of metal. Really? Oh, you know, I think I know what happened. Anyway, we'll address that in a minute. I'm going to make shell necklaces. Now let's come over here and see why we don't have any scrap metal. Oh, it's methane. It's always methane. Okay, this is getting methane. It's just slow. And this probably does not need to be stuck on crude saw blades. Let's swap that over. Sawdust, empty. Dirt, empty. What's up with the dirt? Seriously. Is it because I'm too full on coal and I don't have anything to do with it? Well, guess what? Deep pile storage, you're about to hold coal, just so I don't have to worry about this anymore. And I probably could have put iron ore in one of these too. I guess it's fine. We'll get it taken care of. Silicon metal ingots, probably... I got 36 of these. I don't need 20 beavers in here. I'm going to take those 10 out, and I'm going to put them in this so we can get our scrap metal faster. And, yeah, I just have to wait for this to be blasted out. It's going to be the easiest way to get this set up correctly. You might have noticed during... Oh, that's going to be awkward. When they all just kind of rope straight through each other. Oh, this is ready to go. B for boom. Which means I'm going to be able to put in some more unbelievably tall bamboo. Actually, a pretty decent bit of it now. Okay, I like that. Is this in range? Okay, a decent portion of it is. That's good. Just kind of a slow process. And we're at 31,000 science. Remember that this is 35,000 to unlock. And in terms of materials required to build this, we do need 2 nuclear... Okay, it's not going to let me unless I... Come on. 2 nuclear physics PhDs. We need 5 gold bars. We have 2. Nuclear fuel, we're fine. Nuclear waste, we're fine. We're almost fine on metal fasteners, actually. Almost fine on tar. We're almost fine on scaffolding. Gears, not quite, but it won't be an issue. Metal blocks, currently an issue, but I don't think will remain an issue. And then we'll need 20 of the laboratory glassware. That's not going to be a problem. I just don't have a factory making that right now, and we've used some in recipes. And then 8 of the big logs. Probably shouldn't be an issue. The question is, am I going to get to 35,000 science before I have to stop recording this video? It's already almost 2 hours. Obviously, time lapses. I'm going to cut some of that down, but it's probably about time to end this one. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that I at least put in the second, tree nursery and got some more bamboo in place, which does require, in addition to blasting this out, requires us having this blasted out for the sake of easy access. So I am kind of at the mercy of this dynamite being created, which is what is being made in this one. Come on, click, thank you. Nitroglycerin is a problem, really? Saltpeter is a problem? I thought we were fine on saltpeter. Well, it's fine. I did say I was going to plant some pumpkins as a stopgap thing. Those go from here up into the right. Where is my... Okay, so it lines up right with that. So if I did 1, 2, 3 of those there. Next one goes there, next one goes there, next one goes there. That will be, that'd be better for right now. Just to put in like so. And after getting rid of all this cabbage, we didn't really run into any issues with cabbage supply. So that's good news. We still kind of have some problems with sunflower seeds. So since we still have space over here, and we have the super fertilizing irrigation tower bath, I'm going to just plant some sunflower seeds in its area of effect. Because we do have these farms right here, and this obviously is going to help those grow a little bit faster. How much faster, actually? I never actually pay attention to this. 15%, okay. That's worth doing. Now back to here. We're getting closer. Okay, they're going to take their sweet time with that. How are we looking over here? Is this... Okay, that is going substantially faster. How much coal do we have in here? 1,028. Are these rolling again? They are. And the iron is also going. Wow, they actually made some good progress here. I am impressed. That goes there. That is a terrain block that's going to have something coming in from that side. This is going to come in from here. Obviously, they will build this without this being complete, but when the game gets reloaded, it's going to disappear. So not quite dealing with that. I don't have enough dirt yet to finish these. But once I do, then that'll be in a pretty good spot. It's just funny how quickly stuff grinds to a screeching halt in this game. Or this mod, I should say. Shell necklaces. Good opportunity for us to get some nice well-being bonuses. And 100 of the beavers have them. So that's good news. Comic books I probably could turn back on since we have paper now. And since we made the other pilot's license, I probably don't need to rush making another one. And sky exploration is going to take forever. So let's swap this over to nuclear physics. That, I think, is probably a little bit easier for us to get to 2 of those. And we are going to need 2 of those before we can finish the other huge nuclear power thing. So I think the nuclear power bit's going to be probably a good goal for the next episode. And I just have to wait for this, which is kind of a bummer. Oh well. You know how this goes. But the saltpeter I did not think was going to be a problem. Did not think that was going to be an issue. Did I just not have beavers working in here? That's mountain salt. No, I've got them. It's just not enough, I guess. But why is it just now an issue? Because I didn't think we were consuming any more of it. Let's check. Let's check and see what's going on here. Got 3 buildings consuming it, and oh, 2 of them are making okay. Ah. Okay, there's your problem. I even talked about this too. Artificial resin synthesis. Very useful recipe, but also currently really, really hurting what we were trying to. Ooh. Well, well, well. Super fast dynamite making. Because I don't know how to pronounce the scientific term. Ah, that is interesting indeed. We also need to, I need to turn the laboratory glassware making back on because we're actually consuming those. And I don't have enough scrap metal for this to really be worthwhile having a bunch of these making metal blocks, even though I'm literally looking at this right now. But it's about to be out in just a moment. So as soon as that one finishes, I'll switch over to laboratory glassware. And come on. There we go. We can keep making this. We will need to have 20 of those to take care of that other thing. We're already up to 33,000 science. So I'd say it's going pretty well. Yeah, hydrogen proven to be a little bit of a problem there. Paper is still going into there. That is fine. Slowly filling in. Slowly filling in. Oh, of course, the saltpeter goes into that too. But this one does skip the nitroglycerin step. So that's promising, actually. It's 5 of that to make 12 dynamite. That is definitely a better deal. Oh, that's such a better deal, it's not even funny. Okay, you can make brain-boosting salts now. You can also make brain-boosting salts, because you know we're going to need those. Alright, that is a power play, my friends. Distillery making strong alcohol out of half-fermented sake. You know what I should have done 2 hours ago? I should have unpaused all these fermentation barrels, because we have so much rice we're not able to do anything with. What a waste of potential there. So, if we are able to actually get the saltpeter in here to make enough of this, we are going to have this done pretty quick. I just need to make sure I'm not going to embarrass myself. 700 dirt. Yeah, there's no chance that's getting finished today. That is a huge bummer. Unless I feel like time-lapsing again. Tools. Tools are being consumed voraciously. Who is consuming tools? 4 buildings consuming tools. Okay, the mines I knew, and then... Oh, nuclear waste mining expedition center and supplementary exploration team. Of course they are. Who is making tools? Probably nobody, because I keep swapping these recipes around instead of just building new stuff. The assembly line is currently making tools. Oh, of course, it's the scrap metal. Alright, well, I guess I should have expected that. Alright, well, we're actually, tracking pretty well to get this finished. I think we have to wait for another batch of this to get done. Which, as soon as I have 5 saltpeter, we're off to the races. You know how that goes. Yeah, the brain-boosting salts go into science. Definitely needed to have more of those. So that's, Oh, now I'm out of bad water. Oh, because it's a drought. Duh. And this one bad water pump by itself probably doesn't have a chance to actually, do anything. But that is currently, in a normal drought or temperate cycle, that is the only way to get bad water. Which makes me think maybe it's worth, over here, putting in, if I can figure out how to do this, putting in some of these bad water pumps under science, so that during bad tides they can be operated. I think that's worth doing. Could be a good project for the next episode, if I remember. But for now, it looks like this is our last piece. So, B for boom. Oh, I missed that one. That's a huge shame. At any rate, I'm able to start the process of building another tree nursery. And this cannot be flooded, or it will not work. But what it can do... So I want to make sure that is... Okay, so I'm not beholden to this. I need to make sure that it is going to line up. Actually, right here would be fine. The doorway of lies over here. Yeah, that's... It might reduce range just a tiny, tiny bit compared to putting it somewhere else. But this right here, as it stands now, will give us a pretty good amount of range. We do need to blast this down. But it'll give us most of this area without us changing anything else. And I think that is... it's going to be really helpful. What I need to do, well, among many other things, I need to get rid of these brambles here. And then I need to have a pathway coming back here so this can actually service this bit, because then we can have some more grapes. We are very, very low on grapes. And this also... No, I don't need to make it complicated. I just need to be able to actually utilize space over here. Too far from builders, of course it is. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to have to realign all of this. This goes all the way to the end. Yeah, the reason that I had this offset was because of this land here, but now I know I can do this and have it actually lined up to that, except for right here, it's going to have to change again. It's fine. We don't need to really be super worried about this. In fact, this bit here, I should have blasted up before anything got super complicated. Well, it's Waterbeavers. It was already... No, not that button. Not that button. There we go. There we go. Alright, now that that's a thing, I'll take that away. Have this come over here. And then that will allow me to have this entire plateau here for some more grapes. Which I suppose... Yeah, this is taken care of. I guess I just really need to decide... Oh, I got 59 dynamite. That's right, we have the fast recipe. All of this needs to be double dynamited completely out. And this needs to be triple dynamited. So if I just start with that... I'm trying to get as much bamboo as possible. I just use the space for something else. So that's triple. That is going to be double. All the way down. To, I guess, right about here. Okay, I already had this and I just yeeted, deleted. You already know how this is going to work. Tools, dirt, both kind of an issue. Shouldn't really be that worried about it. This is progressing faster than I thought it would. It's just bad water. Of course, will take its time to come through here. I guess that's okay. Cabbage numbers are still looking fine. Pumpkin numbers should be going up a little bit. And sunflower seeds are still an issue. So I guess that means the next thing I'm putting up here, it's going to have to be yet another one of those sunflower things. Do I have the resources to build this? Technically, yes. The best kind of correct. I know it's not the entire quote, but... That, folks, is... Well, we're firmly in we need to do this next episode territory, and I do intend to cut that off in just a moment here. But... anything small like this, like extending these ladders, is a great thing to do now, because I absolutely am going to forget if I don't do it. So they'll take care of that, and then I also need to extend these giant pillars, which on this level they can do all at once, and on this one I'm going to have to put in stairs. I think this should work. I don't know why I can't remember how I did this before, but if it doesn't work, then, well, I'll fix it. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I don't think I can get much higher than this. Okay, that's not going to work. That will, though. Okay. So I can stack another couple of these. Stack another couple of these on here. Clay, seashells, we're out of those. So I can only assume that means they're just immediately going, yeah, okay, almost 400 beavers have shell necklaces. That is great progress. This is, unsurprisingly, completely done. One of these is going to have to be a staircase down, and I think that's probably fine leaving this here. Or actually, you know what? I don't need to make it a huge deal. Let's double this and single this. This can just be regular stairs. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Which means this is going to be doubles. Stop playing and end the episode already so you can go do other stuff. Yep, okay. Yeah. This is just a good place to end. I know it might not seem like we're doing a whole lot of variety of things this late in the series, but trust me, this is going to be a huge, huge benefit to us when we come back to the next episode, which I will record a whole lot faster than you're going to see it. But that's the way things go. I appreciate you guys watching these videos, sticking with it in episode 65 and all the insanity that this playthrough has caused and been victim to. It's just fun. Even if it seems like I have no idea what I'm doing, which, let's be fair, a lot of the time I don't. I'm still having a blast playing this, and I'm very glad you stick around. Beard Boosters, of course, subsidizing everything so we don't have to chase the algorithm quite as much or try to get sponsors. You're the real MVP of all of these videos, and I truly, truly cannot overstate how much it means that you are believing in what we're doing enough to just throw money at the channel so I don't have to go and figure something else out. I appreciate you, and even if you're not on that list, I appreciate you too. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.